a reed that grew on its own. Definitely, you didn't take a reed, cut it, and stick it into the ground.
But the seed was always disconnected at one point.
Yeah. Probably the assumption is that it doesn't grow from the seed; it grows from the ground, like Chassidus says. Or else, I don't know. You have to work this out, because sometimes when grain is tamei, and then you plant the seeds. We had this. I don't remember the details.
Short transformation.
If it continues, I think we said that it doesn't. The tumah doesn't go to the next thing. Then we had meiser or trumas that were planted. How it works. We have to work that out. Okay.
Also, sometimes grasses grow. You have one growing, and they grow in bunches. They grow not from seeds, but they grow from each other. And so.
Is that how?
You plant one.
Is that how the bananas grow?
Yeah. You plant one, and then 3 years later you got 15 of them. So if you check with the 15th,
it anyways grows on its own.
in a sense. There is a grandfather.
Okay, so Shema Mina, this is a proof that in this brisa we're talking about a wall that was there naturally. Tashema, come and listen. Not sakin b'koisel. This is different. Someone embeds the knife in the wall. V'shachapa and he shechts. Shchitas ksheira. It's valid. Here we have the opposite. You see that it is valid. Gemara says shani sakin b'lei mevatalei. See here the knife. He wasn't mevatel the knife to the wall because it's a real knife. He put the knife in the wall, but our question was, it's temporary. That's the idea. It's temporary there. It's not that he's put it there permanently. So here we have no proof that it's considered detailed. Anything that's attached to the ground is considered detached, because here it's temporary. Tashema, come and listen. Another proof. If something is attached to the ground, it's kosher. How much clearer can you get? It's a clear proof. The Gemara says no. Dilma Perusha Kamafarishla. Maybe you have to read further in the Brisa and see what this means. What does it mean attached to the ground? The next case in the Brisa, if you go back to the Brisa that we had on the beginning of today, we said that someone that shechs with the wheel, it's kosher. Then we said someone that shechs, if it's mechubel karka, it's kosher. And the following case was not sakin b'kaisel. If someone embeds the knife in the wall, attaches the knife to the wall, we said that that's kosher. And we just discussed that case of attaching the knife to the wall. We said that a knife doesn't count because a knife is only temporary. So maybe the case of mechubel karka is just the introduction, and the detail was not sakin b'kaisel, which we said already doesn't count. It's not a good proof. Amar Mar, the master said, not sakin b'kaisel v'shachat b'shchitas ksheira.
So how's a koyach adam? He moves the animal?
Yeah, he moves the animal. We're going to discuss this now, how it works. The knife is attached to the wall, and the Brisa says that it's kosher. Amar Ravanan Amar Shmuel. Ravanan says in the name of Shmuel. By the way, the first generation Amirayim, many times they qualify statements of the Mishnah. They said, many times in the Mishnah it says, here's the rule, and then the Mishnah will continue and say, B'meh devarim amurim. When is this said? Only in such and such a case. The Mishnah will do that. Sometimes Amirayim will do that as well. They'll do that. The first generation Amirayim will do that. They don't use the words B'meh devarim amurim, but they say this exactly the same thing. They say Lo shanu ela. It's the same thing as B'meh devarim amurim. So here we have Shmuel taking a brisa. The brisa says that if someone puts a knife in the wall and uses that knife to shech by moving the animal along the knife, so it's a valid shchita. So Amar Shmuel, Ravanan says, name of Shmuel, Leishanu, this was only taught, Elisha sakin lamayla v'tzavar abehema lamata. The knife needs to be above, and the animal is below, and you're going to move the animal below the knife, back and forth, or along a long knife, and to shech the animal. Aval sakin lamata v'tzavar behema lamayla. However, if the knife is below, and you take the animal above it, and you push it down on the knife, and the animal on the knife, that's going to be a problem. Why? Chayshinan Shema Yidres. We suspect that maybe it's going to be a chopping motion because he's going to push down. He's holding a heavy animal. It's going to push down on the animal to shechter.
Getting in trouble with PETA.
V'haktani.
Why would you do that anyways? I mean, why would you be taking the animal?
Yeah, a lot of these cases are not what we would designate a shlachta. You see, this is the way it works. The sheikhet needs to know the halacha. So the sheikhet is like the EMT. You know, he has to know what to do on the spot. But then you have all the background, like, you know, I don't know how long a doctor is in university, probably like 8 years or something. He's not learning how to draw blood, you know, he's learning with theory and all of that. So the reason why you need that is because not every case is exactly as it's prescribed. So in the Gemara, we have all these, like, strange anomalies and all of these things that are... And the reason for this is to get all the theory of all the background. So this is a very strange case. A person is going to go over to a knife that's a rock or something that's sticking out of a wall, and he's going to shech like that. But we want to know, what is the status of that? The shechita, it helps me here. The shechita is above the shechita. When I'm concerned about pressing and not, there's a lot of theory that we get from this. So yes, it's true. Why would someone do this? Why would someone do this? We don't know.
It's
but
nice cold cuts.
Probably.
Uh-huh.
Situation like this over
So we're concerned over here, if he takes the animal above the knife, we're concerned that he's going to press. The Gemara says, "Vaktani bein shasaken lamata v'tzaver behema lamayla bein shasaken lamayla v'tzaver behema lamata." How could Shmuel say this? If you go back to what we learned, we had a brisa earlier. It was in the Tosefta. It was quoted from the Tosefta. Vakol sheichten bein betalish bein mechuber. You can use anything to shecht, attached or not attached. And bein shasaken lamayla v'tzaver behema lamata bein shasaken lamata v'tzaver behema lamayla. We had a brisa that says it doesn't make a difference. Comes along Shmuel, says no, it does make a difference. Shmuel's not going to argue on the brisa. It was a Tosefta. So Amar Rav Zvid explains Litzdadin Ketani. There were two cases originally in the brisa, if it's attached or if it's detached or if the knife is attached. And then you continued and you said, the brisa continued and says whether the knife's above and the animal's below, whether the knife's below and the animal's above, it doesn't matter. What we need to do is we need to divide up the two initial cases, detached and attached, and each one of those cases is going to be for the next one, for the next case. So, sakin lamata, v'tzaver beim lamayla. If the knife is below and the animal is above, that's betalish. That's when the knife is not attached to the wall, because then you're holding the knife, you're not holding the animal. Sakin lamayla, v'tzaver beim lamata. But the case that we said, if the knife is above and the animal is below, that could be b'mechuber as well. That could be a case of mechuber where the knife is attached to the wall. Okay. Thank you. Rav Papa gives another answer. Bais for the color. Rav Papa says that this whole problem that Shmuel is bringing up, that you may press on it, that's only by a heavy animal. But by a bird, that's we're not concerned that you're going to be pressing on the bird. You can move the bird very easily back and forth over a knife, and that won't be a problem even if the knife is below. Amar Rav Chizda, Amar Rav Yitzchak, Amar Rav Mesnisantana. Rav Chizda says, in the name of Rav Yitzchak, and some say that it's even a brisa. Hey dvarim nemru bekruma shel kana. There were 5 things that were said regarding a reed. First of all, ein sheichten ba. You can't shecht with a reed. We got to see what's going on over here. We said that you could. Ein malen ba. You can't use it for mila. Ein mechatchen ba basar. Don't use it to cut meat. Ein mechatzen ba shinayim. Don't use it as a toothpick or a floss. Ve'ein mekanchen ba. You shouldn't use it to wipe. We'll see what type of wiping it's referring to. Ein sheichten ba. You can't use it to shech. B'hatanya. We have a a brisa. Bakal sheichtim bein betzur bein beschuchas bein bekrum shel kana. I don't know why we didn't quote the Mishnah. We quoted the brisa. Oh, krumas shel kana. The Mishnah said kana. This is krumas shel kana. What's the difference of krumas shel kana? Is it krumas means an outer layer of the reed? I'm not sure what the. Okay. So I'm just saying that because we didn't quote it. We're asking the question from the brisa. We could have asked from the Mishnah. Usually, we would like to do that. Amar Rav Papa says b'simuna da'agma. We're talking about over here a type of grass that grows in the what's the word? In the meadow, in the Everglades,
This is
in the marsh.
It says sedge here. That's a very special kind. It's very sharp.
Like sawgrass.
Sawgrass. Yeah.
Sawgrass.
So
The
this is
translation says stem of a reed.
A stem of a reed. Okay, so krumish alkana would be the stem of reed would be different than the reed. And here there's 5 things that you can't do with it. One of them is to shecht. We said why. You said that you can shecht with the stem of a reed. And we're answering that there's a certain type of reed that's very, very sharp. It grows in the marsh, the sawgrass, and the translation is probably the type of sawgrass that grows in the Mediterranean area, not in the. So that's why they'll use that type. Okay. Ve'in mechatchen babasar. And you can't use it to cut meat. Rav Papa Machatach ba kirbei dagim dezigi. Rav Papa used it to cut. What is the fish eggs called? What is it?
Caviar?
Caviar, because it's clear. And we have a concern here that there may be splinters that will come out of it. And if you use it to cut meat, the splinters will get into the meat, and that will be dangerous to eat. But if it's something that's clear, that's not a problem. Rabbi bar Rav Huna mechatich ba'oifa derachich. Rabbi bar Rav Huna used it to cut a bird because that was soft. Ve'in mekanchen ba. It says that you shouldn't use it to wipe. Why are we saying you can't use a grass to clean yourself after the bathroom? You can't use this grass. Why do you have to say this grass? We have a Gemara that says that you can't use anything that's flammable. Why? What happens? It says shin of nitrous. Shin over here is referring to the hemorrhoids or something. It could cause problems. So Amar Rav Papa says kinuach pimaka kamrinan. We're actually talking about a wound. We're not talking about wiping after the bathroom. We're talking about wiping a wound. Someone may use it to clean a wound. The problem is it could have splinters. It's going to get worse. Sometimes you can't feel because the person's in pain. He's going to use it to wipe. Pushing it in and taking it out could feel the same. Could have the same feeling. Okay, hakol sheichten u'loylam sheichten. The Mishnah said that you always shecht and you always have to shecht. Hakol sheichten. You always shecht. Hakol b'shchita. Everything needs to be shechted. Vafilu oif, even a bird. It doesn't say you have to shecht the bird in the Torah, but Mishnah teaches us that you do from tradition. Only animals we know. A bird as well. Li'olam sheichten. You always have to shech. Man Tana. Who's the one that says this? Amar Rabba. Rabbi Shmuel. Rabba says it's Rabbi Shmuel. The Tanya, as it says in the Brisa, Ki yarchav Hashem es kevolcha kasher dibalach. When Hashem will expand your borders, as He told you. V'amartin, you will say yoich labasar, that I want to eat meat. So it says over there that you shall shech. Rabbi Shmuel Eimer. Rabbi Shmuel says leiba kasav el hatlam basar taiva. It's coming to tell them that they're allowed to eat meat just out of desire. Why? Shebetchila neslam basar taiva. In the desert, they weren't allowed to eat meat. If they wanted to eat meat, they had to bring a sacrifice. And then they would eat the meat from the sacrifice. Once they came into the land, every time they're going to eat meat, they're going to bring a sacrifice. You're going to have to go to the temple for every barbecue. You can't do that. The guys that lives in Tzfas. So hutalem basar taiva. They're allowed to eat meat. But now that they're back in exile, maybe we're going to go back to the desert rule where you're not allowed to eat meat unless you bring a sacrifice, which would be never. That's what we say. That's what we say. That you always can shech. That you're always allowed to shech. Maskefla Rabbi Yosef Haylaylam Sheichlim Layim Sheichlim Ba'Ichlim Ba'Eily. What does it mean? You're always allowed to shech. It means you're always allowed to eat. Is the main point, not shech. Okay, let's stop over there by the question. Yeah, continue tomorrow.
You can bring a korban. You can bring a korban betumah.